Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, June 14th. Time is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. And it looks like we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Sent out. And it looks like we are good to go. Perfect. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 8-hour. Down to the 4-hour. 2-hour. To the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 14th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 38,432, and the closest level below is at 38,385. I expect both of these levels to get hit today. As you guys can see, price is going sideways. So eventually when price starts to move directional, I do expect one of these or both of these liquidity points to get hit. So we'll see what happens. We got a long time from now until open, 7 minutes. So we got some time here. This might get hit pre-market, but we'll see what happens here on market open. So going over here to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. I'm going to mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go in the 4-hour time frame. Identify structure up here. Identify structure down here. Go up to the 1-hour time frame. Structures are already marked up there. There's a support here. I'll leave it as is for now, and then later on I'll just update it. Both of these are right here. So these are the 1-hour support resistance. I will update these when market opens. It's going to be a little too close. So you can see over here where the consolidation is happening between the 1-hour structure. So if it gets too messy, I'll just take this off. I'll mark a new structure, but for now, we'll leave it as is so that you guys can see it here. Going over to our main chart, we had news this morning, 5:30 and 6. So news at 5:30 a.m., which is right here. In fact, 5:30 and 6 a.m. All right, so we got news at 5:36 a.m. 6 a.m. is low impact. Balance of trade. I'll just put this right here so I understand what that is. Low impact. And for this one over here, I'll mark this up as medium. Just so that we know when news events they are. And then we have one news event at 7 o'clock, which is high impact. So, I mean, we might get a sideways market till 7 o'clock. Other than that, that looks like about it. Looking over here at retail sentiment, it's still pretty much neutral for right now. It's 51.49. There's not really one side to it. Looking over here at CNBC, there is not really much of an update right now. So here are the live updates. As stock futures fall, as S&P and NASDAQ rally to record highs, cool. So we'll see if this pushes it up on market open here. So we got 4 minutes till market open, guys. Good morning, everybody. If you guys are just joining, I've marked up liquidity over here. Liquidity is currently on both ends. So we have liquidity right above at 38,432 and liquidity below at 38,385. As you guys can see, price is not going anywhere here. It's just going sideways. Snail movement right here. As we wait for market here to open in the next 3 minutes. Yeah, there's like no movement here at all. Rashida's asking, are we using September or June? We're using June. So the contract doesn't expire until the end of today, Rashida. So people are still going to be on June. I mean, we could check September. I don't think September is really moving yet. Yeah, you can see over here, September is still kind of choppy. You guys can see the candles are not next to each other. That's how you'll know if like people have moved over yet. Some people have rolled over to September already, but for the most part, June is still the main contract. So we're still in June here. But I believe on Monday, the rollover should happen. I didn't get any notifications on Ninja or Tradeovate, so I don't think it's necessary to move yet. They'll tell you when the volatility is low. They'll tell you you're on a late contract. So we'll probably do the contract flip on Monday. Morning, Sandy. All right, guys, market is opening up in about 2 minutes. Hey, Brock, how's it going? Morning. See, next at Apex has been ghost this week, kind of odd. Yeah, for my PA yesterday, they haven't processed it yet. It hasn't even updated in the system, which is very unusual. It's not only me though. I've talked to other people. It's pretty much everybody as a whole. They finally responded to my tickets from earlier this week, yesterday. So I know they're backed up because of all the platform issues. So yeah, I know I'm pretty sure they're super far behind because they had to reset all those accounts that were affected, the Rhythmic and Monday and Tuesday. So I'm pretty sure they'll be speaking up again next week once they've pretty much sorted everything out here. All right, guys, market is opening up in about 25 seconds. We'll see what happens here. The volatility is starting to pick up slightly. ATR is currently at 10. Again, guys, in order for me to take the levels entries, I need to have some volatility there. There we go, the volatility pushed to the upside. Market is now open, guys. I'm not going to take this as the levels entry. Hey, Max, welcome. Yeah, I know, first day here. So hopefully your first day is a good day. So looking at this over here, guys, we don't have much to work with right now. We just have this push on open, the market opening price across the board. Price is currently at the 1 hour resistance. As you can see, price is bouncing directly off it. I would just wait for the market here to stabilize a little bit before you start to take anything or even think about taking anything. As you guys can see, there's always some crazy movement here on open. First level of liquidity right there has gotten hit. First two levels actually got hit right here. Looks like Sadie caught that. Nice work. Rashida caught it as well. So liquidity right there got hit, 10 points. And liquidity above as well. Got hit right there for 10 points. So solid work for you guys there who caught the first levels of liquidity. So the levels entry here did not set up yet. I'm probably not going to take this levels entry, guys, because the market is not really stable yet. I'll wait for it to stabilize here a little bit before I start looking for any entries here. Also, the ATR is super low and the volatility isn't really that smooth yet. Last thing I want to do is get caught in a fake out like we did yesterday. It's also right next to the sessions right here too. So possible manipulation that could happen right here. All right, so price is climbing up quite a bit. See how far it's pushed up from here. So from open, price is pushed up about 70 points. So I'll keep watching it to see how far it pushes up. If it pushes up to this next level right now, I'm not going to take it. If it consolidates a little bit here or, kind of pulls back and then pushes up to the next level, then I'll be a little more inclined to take this level entry up here. But at this very moment, not really keen to take anything that's a bit overextended. Let's see. Something else over here. All right, I preferred it here to okay. So it's kind of smoothing out right here. Yeah, this one's a little tricky, guys. This one is a little tricky. There's a levels entry that's setting up right here at the 500, but again, price didn't really retrace back yet. So the thing that I'm kind of worried about is that it's going to reverse at some point. It's just a bit overextended at this point here. How price is pushed up super high. Yeah, it's up to 120 points now. I don't think I'm going to take this levels right here, guys. I'm going to be a little careful because it's Friday, right? Friday is usually one of those tricky days where you don't really want to overextend yourself. So if you guys, this level over here never got triggered. So if this level here is still usable, there's a levels right here. I'm not going to take this one. I'm going to hold off on it. The levels right there just got triggered. I'm not in this position. Again, I was worried about this big retracement right here. So that's why I didn't want to take it because it's overextended. So good thing we didn't take that trade there because you can see how price pulled back super hard. This was a retracement that I was looking for. Price was overextended, like from opening price. If you measure it from down below, this pushed up about 126 points. If you measure it from opening price, like we knew the retracement was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. So it was over 100 points already. So you just got to be smart about these positions, guys. We really anticipated this to happen, so I don't want to get caught in it. You shouldn't take every single level. So take some discretion there, especially when it's in an area where, it's due for retracement. If this retracement happened on this previous candle and it pushed up further, I would have been okay with taking this. But because it didn't ever retrace, there just was no reason for us to risk hopping into that there. So looking over here at the PRB, we had the first rejection right here. We had the space consolidation candle. So if price comes down and bounces off the pivot, that will provide opportunity for the PRB. So PRB is probably the first thing to come up here first. There was a breakout V3 continuation that happened right here off the second opening candle. Not an actual breakout V3, but a continuation because it did provide the buy signal, the green candle following it. Looking over here at the clean chart, price is currently past the 1 hour resistance zone. So we'll see here, it's currently breaking and retesting it right now as it continues to climb. Might get some consolidation here. There's no other liquidity above, I think. Well, at least not close by. Let's see. The next level of liquidity is up at 38,674. So it's pretty far up. All right, so it looks like price here is starting to stabilize a little bit. Good sign. Now we're just going to wait for this here to choose its direction if it decides to continue climbing or if it decides to swing back up further. Yeah, no, definitely. Nick said, good job identifying the retracement. Yeah, the retracement still hasn't confirmed yet. It's now kind of just ranging within this area, which again is fine. Having a new resistance right here. It's not established yet, so if it pushes up higher, I'll take it off. But currently right now, there goes the new resistance. All right, we got price retracing back down. This was actually a CV entry right here, guys, if you guys saw it. I mean, I wouldn't have taken a CV entry against the trend, but this was a CV entry right there. There's a high with a green candle, smaller red candle. So then the CV right there. Right, so there's also a MPS that came up here, I believe. The price pullback right here. The entry would have happened at 100 mark. Actually, it's currently running right now. MPS. I'm not sure if it already triggered or filled, but I mean it did trigger. I don't know if it hit TP yet because I don't know what happened here with this red candle. But yeah, this was the retracement. Entry would have been here, and it would have hit full TP right there for MPS. So there's two entries that came up. There's an MPS entry, and there was a CV entry that happened right there as well. I personally don't really like the way that the market's currently moving right now. You guys can see that it's going sideways. So I would look for some CV entries, and V1 variations, but not really any directional movements right now. Because obviously this is a consolidation after the big push. Yeah, exactly what you just said. We'll probably look for this here to maybe pull back a little bit and then climb back up. So I'm gonna look for some direction here, of course. And we'll see. Yeah, Nick said probably waiting on news. I agree. So that's probably what's gonna happen next. So this is a question from Y'all over here. Y'all's asking, hey Sean, may I ask a question? I noted you got funded on Apex 250 once you paid 85. It's lifetime for real? Question mark. Would you know how long one has until the lifetime? I think it expires. They put it on their Discord. I think it expires. See if I can find it. So the promotions are until July 15th. So you had to buy the account during the promotion, and then you have until July 15th to do it. And then after 10 years, it becomes a penny. So, I mean, it's not really a big second penny. I think they just do that to keep you in the system so it can keep renewing. But yeah, you have until July 15th. So if you pass that 250K account from now until July 15th, you can pay the 85 for the PA fee. And then you don't have to pay it's normally like 280. That's how much it is for the PA fee. So, I mean, yeah, it's for real, but if you blow the account, that doesn't mean you have a lifetime account. Like say you pass an eval and then you pay the lifetime fee and you blow the account tomorrow, then you blow the account, you don't have that account anymore. It doesn't mean it's like you keep it for a lifetime. It means you just don't pay for the PA fee after that. So just keep that in mind, guys. It doesn't mean that just because you paid the 85, you have the account forever. You have the account until you blow it. So once you get funded, just don't blow it. Lower your contract size to like the super small. Like on my PA account for my 250K, I'm only using 10 contracts. So basically I have an ability to lose like 9 back-to-back trades before I blow it. Yeah, once you guys are at your PA stage, you guys just lower your contract size. You don't have to keep taking big contracts. Just lower them and just accumulate profit from there. All right, so we got the next level over here at the 50. Looking for the levels over here. I'm gonna update my list, of course. But again, I need some movement here, guys. I can't have this like dying out on me, right? I need a pretty decent push up past the level and then retrace and continuation. So I'm going to be watching it here. All right, price is currently past it. I'll be watching it to see if there's going to be opportunity for entry here. Maybe a levels entry over here, maybe. If this candle closes above the 55 or the 50 mark right here. All right, so it hasn't closed above it yet, so there's still no opportunity there yet. Price might retrace back a little bit, which is fine. Yeah, no problem, y'all. Just make sure you're using the promo code, right? The promo code that I sent you, Gil, because if you don't use the promo code, you might not get the promo. You got to use like whatever's the current promo code. And it might be cheaper to just buy a new account versus resetting. Like, see how much the reset costs. If it's like 100, then you might as well just buy a new account, just reset it, use the promo code again, and I think it's like $60 right now. Oh, the reset's only 35. Actually, the reset might be cheaper. So HP said Apex restored his blown accounts. Nice, that's solid. Yeah, I think they've updated it, Tom. I think the code works now. I had to send them a ticket. I'm not sure if they fixed it yet because I haven't checked myself, but I think they did fix it. Yeah, because that promo code that I gave you guys, it's like an admin code. So it's like better than what they normally offer. So when you use that code, that's why that code isn't like my specific one. It's it's like it doesn't have my name on it. It's like a special code that I got from the admins. It's the same one that's posted on it's the same one that's always been posted, them all on the Discord. It's like a weird code. That's why I can never remember it. Let's see, it's on the FAQs. The code is like JJ Junie owner, something like that. Yeah. JJ owner. I guess it's like the owner's code or something. Yeah. It's like it has the best promo because like everybody has their own specific promo code and like some of them have better promos than others. Yeah, exactly, CJ. So it's a weird one. Here, I'll post it in there, y'all. Yeah, because I have my own promo code that you can use, but it doesn't give you the best discount. It gives you like a little less, or sometimes it's a little less, sometimes a little more. It just depends on which code you're using. Ishan's asking here, I would like to ask if I can still purchase your monthly. Yeah, you can still get it on the website. So if you guys want access to the indicators and the strategies, just go to the website, guys. Website is kodikaitrades.com. Click on strategies right here, and then you can unlock your access to these indicators and strategies, of course. Yeah, no problem, y'all. All right, so there's no levels entry here yet, guys. As you guys can see, price is still going back and forth. I'm not going to put a levels. I'm going to put a circle here so I know not to take the levels there. But or I'll leave the circle up here actually. I already know not to trade around this area. So I'll leave the circle up here so I'm aware of this as an opportunity point. Oh, damn, yeah. So Max said that he had 18 blown PAs and they just restored them. Nice. Solid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Apex is busy with right now. They're just restoring a bunch of accounts because of the platform issues. Which is good because a lot of prop firms would not do that, right? A lot of prop firms would not restore your accounts even if you had an issue. I remember back then when we used all those other prop firms, you made if something happened, they didn't really care. They're like, oh well, and you kind of just have you got to deal with it. Yeah, Nick said CV if this candle is smaller, but yeah, unfortunately, it does not look like it. The candle here is a little bit bigger. So we got price kind of just bouncing around right now. There's not really much going on here. Price is kind of going between the resistance is up here now. It's going between the 1 hour resistance and the 1 minute resistance right here. So this is the current range. There's not really too much direction. This is kind of typical. I think price is waiting for news here. We have high impact news over here at 7 o'clock. It is the Michigan consumer sentiment, I believe. Yeah, Michigan consumer sentiment over here. It's high impact, so it's going to affect the market, of course. I think that's kind of what the market here is waiting for. So from now until 7 o'clock, we might just get a sideways movement right here until we get to news, of course. Yeah, CJ said like MFF. That's why they're not around anymore. They did a lot of janky stuff. Yeah, I know. They were giving a lot of promos too, and that was like it was always a mess with them. So it would always be an issue. So the BB3 is currently running right now. Thanks, Daniel, for mentioning that. It's currently at the sessions though, so it's a little tricky, but the BB3 is running right here. I think I already hit TP'd it. Currently running in profits. We had a double body rejection right here, sell signal, red candle to follow it. This is the actual breakout B3 that is currently running right now. The so the PRB came up over here as well. I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but we drew it up for you guys earlier over here. The PRB hit and the BB3 hit. So we had the first rejection right here. Price came around, rejection right here, entry happened right there, full TP for the PRB. And then also full TP over here for the BB3. So if you guys take any of the breakout entries, both of the breakouts hit today. This is the BB3 right here. We had the double body rejection right here off the higher high. Sell signal, red candle, entry happened right there. Push down to full TP. So we had quite a few entries here come up so far. We had the liquidity over here for the first two levels got hit. So this level got hit, this level got hit right here on open, both full TPs. We had the breakout B3 here hit for full TP as well. And we had the PRB over here hit for full TP as well. So four back-to-back wins right here for the day so far. I didn't take any of those trades because I typically don't look for the breakouts anymore as often. It just goes against my criteria. I don't like trading around red flags. And the BB3 ended up coming up right there at the red flag. So I wouldn't have taken that trade for me personally. But for you guys who did take it, nice work. So, all right, now we got to wait to see where this ends up. I think again, right here, price will probably consolidate for the next couple minutes. And then eventually make its move once news here is passed. Yeah, CJ said, I pray we don't get stuck in between these sessions. Yeah. Well, even if we do get stuck in between the sessions, it's going to break out on news. So I prefer to actually stay down here right now. Like I'd rather have it sit around this area so that once the news happens, it'll break above or it'll break below. So we'll see. But the trend here is starting to shift a little bit. Price is coming back down for correction. Looks like it's coming back down below the 1 hour support. Looking over here at the levels, the clean levels chart. So you can see there was like another levels entry here that could have been taken basically if you wanted to. Came up, broke below, dropping down further to the next. It's basically coming back to open. So target price point right there is going to be opening price, of course. This could be a CB entry, but it's right at sessions. So I wouldn't take it as a CB. It's too many red flags right here. All right, we got news in about 8 minutes, forecasted to be positive. There's just too many red flags in this area. We got opening price, we got news price down here, we got all the sessions down the middle. If I turn off the levels here, you can see a little bit better. It's not a great area to be trading in. Oh, what we could get is if price drops further, we could possibly get a levels entry down here. Again, the main problem is that it's going to happen so close to news that I don't think it's something I would want to mess with personally. All right, so price is back to open. You can see it got back to open right there. It's now dropping down lower. So we got liquidity on the lower end. That's another good confluence right there. Thanks, Daniel, for mentioning that. So the levels would be directly into lower liquidity if it happens. So I think that'd be a really good confluence. The only problem here, guys, is that we're getting so close to news. So if you guys do decide to take the levels right here, you got to get in and out quick. If it gets close to news, I would probably just pull it out. I would just take it and then pull it out once you're in profit or like once you're happy with what you got, if it doesn't hit CP right away. Liquidity is down below at 38,385. So if it continues to drop lower, we get that levels entry. It's probably going to push down to liquidity right there. That would be the target price point for price to hit, of course, because it's trying to reach liquidity. So now we got price kind of going back and forth sideways right here. We have a V1 variation right here. There's a lot of entries that are coming up, guys. There's a V1 variation, but there was a red flag there. But obviously, I wouldn't have taken it. There's a lot of entries that are just popping up, but they're not in good areas because it's right at opening price. So there was a V1 variation right there, double body rejection. As you guys know, that's a reversal pattern. So the trend here is still technically bullish. The divergence here shifted with it. And this will probably push up for a correction. But I mean, we'll see what happens here. I always hate when we have news at like 6:45, 7. Like this it's always a bit of a buzzkill, right? Because you might see some good entries here, but the problem is that there's news coming up so soon that you're worried to take a trade because price is going to spike, especially when it's high impact news. So now it looks like price is just going to consolidate between this middle area right here. We have about 5 minutes till news, and that's what it looks like. Sideways down here. All right, so I think I'm just gonna sit tight, guys. It's too close to news right here. Not really looking to get caught in the news spike. I don't think it's gonna spike too much, but I do anticipate some movement here. All right. Yeah, juice of the 5:30 news are always crazier. Yeah, exactly right. So let's see what happens here. We got 5 minutes till news. Again, I think price is just going to consolidate around this middle area right here. So price will probably consolidate between the 450 and the 400 mark right here. This is going to be the area of consolidation until news happens. So price continues to push up higher. We get a buy signal, breaks past pivots 1 and 2. That can be a possible high level momentum scalp. I can't really tell where price is going right now. So I know price is in this big range. Obviously, you can see from the clean chart, this is a big range right here. But the thing with the current conditions is we need to determine whether price is going to continue to consolidate or if it's going to range pretty wide. If it ranges pretty wide, that's fine. We can take directional movements. But if price consolidates like down here, just like it did, up here, then you got to change your playbook a little bit, right? You need to look for maybe some V1 variations, some CV entries, stuff like that. But if price starts to move directional, you can go back to the levels. You can go back to a lot of the different things. All right, so there's no divergence here, at least not yet. I mean, if you wanted to take the early divergence that Nick typically takes, would have happened right here on the cross. But again, I think we're all just going to wait for news here. Got news in about 4 minutes. There's a breakout V3 continuation here that's setting up, guys. Again, it's too close to news, so I'm not going to mess with it, but you guys can see the small climb to the upside right here. This could also be pre-news market movement. So you want to be careful here because I think a lot of people are probably getting in early because they're expecting price to spike up. The Michigan consumer sentiment is forecasted to be positive. That doesn't necessarily mean price needs to push up, right? So a lot of the retail traders are getting in a little early right here to possibly catch the spike up that they're expecting. But something like this can happen. Price can easily just push up a little bit, spike down to stop everybody out, and then come right back up. And you guys have seen that before. A lot of manipulation happens around here, especially high impact news. So wouldn't mess with it. One thing that I've and I forgot to mention this to you guys before. The cool thing, I don't know if you guys have premium with TradingView, but they have new candlesticks. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They have footprint candlesticks now, where you can kind of see where the orders are coming in from. So you don't even need book maps anymore. I know a lot of people used to use book maps, but you can follow footprints on here now on TradingView if anybody has they have like a lot of new they got a lot of new stuff here. Price opportunity, volume candles, etc. But yeah, you don't even need book maps anymore. You can kind of just look at the candles right here. You can kind of see like how price is moving too. So if you guys like this, I can keep this up. We can go between this and regular candlesticks for the levels. Let's go back to our main chart. We got news coming up right here in about a minute. All right, we got the news coming up right here. Let's see. At about 30 seconds till news. Kind of curious to see how the spike here happens. All right, we got news in 3, 2, 1. Let's see what happens here. Huge spikes to the downside. So guys, again, like I just said earlier, don't like trust that it's forecasted to be positive, because look at all these people getting wiped out right there. That's why I tell you guys not to mess with the news, because even though the news here was forecasted to be positive, it was actually super negative. So they forecasted it to be 72, it's actually 65.6. Everything's negative right here. So news is a gamble, guys. Just because it forecasts to be positive doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be positive. All the news here is pretty much negative, and it's probably still going to push up. So it's going to drop down a little bit, and it's probably going to spike way back up, right? So don't mess with the news, guys. Better just wait, be safe. It's a gamble when you're trading news. So let's see how far this dropped down to. Down about 50 points. It wasn't a big news event. The big news events are NFP, PPI, CPI. Those are the big news events. You're going to see like 100 pip movements or 100 point movements for those. For these like mid-session movements, they're going to be little spikes of like 50 points or so, but nothing as crazy. So we got price coming down right here. See, next I'm going to wait for the 350 level at the sell. For the sell, it goes down. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the market to kind of to completely react to the news event because you don't want to get in too early because this could be a fake out. People are still chasing the sell right here because the news is negative. The last thing you want to do is get into a position and then it fakes out on you because that's probably what's going to happen here. So right here, I would prefer the fake out to happen right now so that we have this space down here so that when it comes back. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the fake out to happen here. And then I want it to come back down and then go from there. So I don't want it to come down just yet. I want it to go up first and then come down. It's just a tricky area right now because this could still be a reaction to the news. And I don't want to get caught in the fake out from the market makers because the market makers are probably going to like, they're basically luring in the sellers right now. See, they're luring in the sellers here to chase the sell. And then when you least expect it, push back up. So I'm not going to take the levels here just like Nick. This is also a breakout V3 continuation as well. There's a lot of different opportunities on this candle here. But again, I'm not going to mess with it for me personally. So there goes a breakout V3 continuation. It's pushing through right there. Full TP on the breakout V3 continuation. Liquidity just got hit as well. Both of the levels of liquidity right there. So this would have been a good confluence for a lot of entries. But again, because of news, I didn't want to get caught in the fake out. So if you guys caught liquidity down here, pretty much all liquidity for today got hit. So all four levels of liquidity here that I marked up for you guys pre-market, they all got hit. It's a quick little in and out. So the levels over here actually did not get filled yet. I'll be looking for the lower level down below. But again, the lower level is going to be still a little tricky because of the, at this point, it's a bit overextended. So 8.350. Yeah, the news kind of messed it up a little bit, guys, because it just instills a lot of uncertainty as to like where price is going to go at this point. So I would want some sort of retracement here first before I even think of taking any sells. Because the last thing I want to do is as soon as you enter the trade, the retracement happens and then it goes straight up, right? So I'd like a retracement here first. I prefer for it to retrace up a bit. Maybe fill a levels entry from here because the level still hasn't gotten filled yet from this price point. So maybe push up a little bit, hit the levels right there, come back lower to the next level, and then I'll be more inclined to take that lower level down there. But yeah, I'm not going to mess with this because this could be the reversal. There's a CV entry here again, opposite direction though. So there's a lower low there with the red candle, smaller green candle right here. This would be considered a CB entry. But again, it's against the trend, so I don't really trade against the trend like that. I'll look for possible CB for a sell, not for a buy. All right, so the retracement still didn't happen yet. I was hoping for that retracement. There's the MPS right here, Daniel just mentioned. So this retraced up. The MPS would have happened at the 80 mark right here. Filled right there at the 80, went straight down to full TP. So there's a ton of entries today, guys. There's a lot of entries that are coming up. It's just how risky are you feeling today about these entries? Because the MPS did come up right there. That was solid. Breakout V3 continuation, high-low scalp. There's a lot of entries that came up right. There's a high-low scalp that came up right here as well. Liquidity, everything kind of lined up with. This is the area we were looking for. So we wanted to trade down here. The only problem is that the news was negative. I was actually hoping the news would be positive so that it could push up and then come down. But because the news wasn't positive, it came all the way down already. So I'm always looking for the manipulation. Typically, that's what I look for. I look for price to get manipulated, and I look for it to continue, of course. So again, I would prefer for price to push up, hit the levels, come back down before I start looking for opportunity here. All right, so let's go over here to the levels chart. Here's the footprints for current candles. I think price will probably be bullish. Look at the footprints here. They're starting to level out to the upside. Price came down. I look at the delta typically. Delta's red, 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 red. Starts to smooth out here a little bit, lowers out. And then it's starting to push up now. So we're getting a bullish push back up. So there's a lot of different ways to read the footprints here. Looking at the delta is typically going to be like where you can see the power or like where price is actually moving. So you can kind of see when it starts to taper off a little bit. So it was like 40, negative 429, negative 242, negative 57 starts to taper out, and then it starts to swing up a little bit from there. Reading the tape is super difficult though, guys. Like people make it seem like it's easy. It's not that easy. As you can see, there's still fake outs that happen, even though it looks like it's starting to taper out to the upside. Let's see, Rashida said with the levels, what happens if buy signal closes with then no entry? Um, so with the levels, the momentum doesn't necessarily matter, Rashida, because it's all off discretion, right? So there's not like one, you're not looking at like any specific requirements. So you're just looking at where price is going. Like you're kind of using your discretion to identify the direction, right? So like you could have a buy signal here, but you can see the trend is bearish. So you can still look for sells here. And like you said, with a buy signal, right? The trend here is still bearish. So you just kind of format where you look at what type of confirmations you have. So the trend here is bearish with the pivots. The trend meter is bearish. If you see the divergence here is bearish, but you have a buy signal, you can just identify that buy signal as a slight retracement, right? So the momentum doesn't matter, but like obviously the more confluences you have, the better. So price might be pushing down to this 350 level. The problem with this here is that I don't like the consolidation. Like if price pushes down to this 350 level, I need a big candle to push below it. Like I need price to break out of this consolidation range. Because if it just keeps consolidating like this, then you want to be careful for the fake outs. Whenever price consolidates like this, the main thing that you're worried about or be concerned about would be the fake outs, right? The price is currently in the support right there. So now price is staircasing to the downside. As you can see over here, price started from up here, came down, the news pushed it down even further, and it's staircasing to the downside. So you just want to be careful for the possible fake outs that may happen around this area here. So liquidity right there touched again, and it blasted right through. There's a high-low scalp here that's currently running. Thanks, Nick, for mentioning that. Again, I don't feel comfortable trading around like a sideways market, so I didn't like it that much. So there's a possible, let's see, let me measure it. Yeah, I mean, it's still running. Yeah, Barack said, I see news as a big gamble for us retailers, but it's a great opportunity for the market makers to eat where most liquidity is sitting. Yeah, exactly, 100%. Gal said, yeah, we're not meant to be the markets during that time. It's always rigged against us. I agree. That's why I never trade news. It's it's tricky. Like especially don't trade your PAs during that time. That's like the worst time to trade your trade your PAs because it's so easy to just blow your account right away. Um, all right, so we're just getting some consolidation here. I don't think we're gonna get levels in trade here, guys. The volatility is too low. Price is currently in the 1 hour support down here. So looking at the footprints here, there's not too many orders that are coming in. You guys can see the deltas are pretty weak. 144, -40, 81, 49 right here. All right, so there might be a levels entry that's coming up right here, guys, if this candle closes decent size. So I'll be watching it right here for the possible levels entry. My pending order will be at the 50 mark, 83, 350. So we got the candle here closing in about 10 seconds. All right, put my pending order right there for a sell.
Order submitted.
So I got my pending order right there for the levels entry. I don't know if this will actually fill. If it doesn't fill, like, within the first couple candles, and obviously I'll just cancel it. Price is currently below the 1 hour support. Price continues to drop down lower. There's another liquidity down below right there. So let me go back to the chart over here, see if this here fills. So again, I'm just gonna watch it because if it gets, I need to see if the TP stop loss are being set up, because I know there's issues with Apex this week. So it still hasn't filled it yet. Just watching at 50 level. I don't think there's anything else coming up today. No breaking news. Yeah, there's nothing else. So we'll see how this volatility moves here. If this kind of just stays flat, then I'll just cancel the order. So I'll wait for one more candle after this. All right, one more candle, and then I'll cancel this here. So it's now filled. I had the same issue with there's a lot of issues with my Apex. I got to watch it again for it to flatten. So a bunch of accounts here were affected. All right, so if the price just continues to move sideways like it did yesterday, guys, I'm probably just gonna pull out of it. Like I was like what happened yesterday, because it's just too much of an issue with the sideways market. There's not really much volatility here. We want it to like fill and then come right back down super fast. But if it doesn't fill and move fast, then there's just no point in holding on to it because you're kind of just going to be holding on to a consolidating position. So I'm just watching my Ninja Trader because of the issues with Apex right now. Watching it over here. I'm gonna make sure it closes out if it needs to. I basically just have my finger on the flatten all button because I don't want to be stuck in the position. There's always like some slippage or not slippage necessarily, but price just kind of sits. Okay, I gotta flatten it out. All right, so unfortunately I took a loss on that trade, guys.
Order filled.
So it looks like a break-even week for us. Fuck, this week sucks. I thought this week was gonna be better, but it's basically a break-even week for us here. We had 2 wins, two losses because of the sideways market that happened later in the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was like a very directional market, and then yesterday and today was basically a sideways market, which sucks. I was hoping this whole week would be directional. We started the week off pretty strong, so this week was pretty solid. It was going. We just had a directional market. It was easy for us to take entries. There was a bunch of entries that came up, and then today and yesterday is just sideways. So we had the sideways movement here, of course, and this is usually the type of market that you don't want to get caught in. So I got caught in the same trap twice this week. Like I said earlier, be careful for the fake outs. And that's exactly where we got caught in 2 fake outs this week. Got caught in a fake out right there. Price was at the lower level of support. And then again, same thing that happened yesterday. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's all good. It happens. I'd rather have a break-even week than have, losing week overall. So it's all good. Let's see. Brian over here said, who do you email regarding Ninja not setting his TP stop loss? Had to manually close out twice, gave him 2 losses. Yeah, so message and there was an issue with Apex as well, guys, for their basically their TP stop loss. I've been having those issues pretty much all week. So just go to their support desk and then you can message them about that. Brian, they should probably reset it or give you a reset. Either reset or give you a credit for your whatever trade that took. So on top of that, so we had first let me just mark this up real quick, guys. I'm gonna mark up the loss here because I gotta put this in the results for today and for the week. I mean, it's been a weird week for Apex, mainly because of the platform issues that they've had. So that's kind of put me on edge a little bit because I'm always worried about my accounts losing more than I wanted them to. But yeah, there was another high level momentum scalp that came up right here. As you guys can see, there was a lower low right here. This buy signal broke and closed past the pivots 1 and 2 right here. So there's a lot of other entries that have come up. It's just the directional strategies have not been hitting as often because there hasn't been too much direction. You can see over here that price pretty much, let's go over here to the clean levels chart. And let me go back to the regular candlesticks. I'm going to show you guys what happened here. So the range in consolidation is in between these 2 levels right here, right? And this is the fake out that I was worried about. So I said, look at these levels here, like support and these price levels, because there's probably going to be a fake out if price continues to go sideways. And that's literally what happened here. The consolidation, this is like the actual movement area, right? Within this middle area, when price broke below, obviously there's a fake out. Same with this over here, when price was moving down here, this was the actual consolidation range area, and the fake out happened right there, right? Price went back and forth, fake out, came back down, came back below here, goes back and forth, fake out, comes back into this area. It's like, the way to see this is like, this area is not even real. Like basically you're just focusing on this middle area here. Same with this right here. Price is going back in between these 2 levels, but this area is like basically a manipulation area. So, I mean, it's unfortunate we got caught in it. We had to take the risk. I mean, obviously, there's only one way to trade. You have to take the risk when you see the opportunity. We did take the opportunity there with the risk of it being faked out. And unfortunately, we did get faked out. So it is what it is, part of the game. There's a V1 variation right here. So there's another opportunity that came up right here, double body rejection. The V1 variation is currently actually hit TP already. Right there. So during these sideways markets, guys, the things that you want to look for would be things like the V1 variations and CB entries. Right. So this is a V1 variation right here. It came up super quick, went straight to its TP, full TP right there. Other than that, there's just nothing else right here at this very specific moment. So the main entries that you want to look for in the sideways market will be the high-low momentum scalps. That's one that they identified right here. The V1 variations, which are reversal patterns, and CB entries. Yeah, and Brian's been looking for the divergence as well. So you can look for the divergence here to happen and then look for it to swing back down. So the divergence here is crossing over a little bit. This could be a possible CB entry. This could be a possible CB and a V1 variation entry right here. You got to see how the candle here closes though. So this would be another V1 entry right there if it comes up. I'm not going to take it though, guys. Like I said, I got to stick to my game plan. No FOMO. And I'll just watch it here. So there's a V1 variation coming through right here. Again, I'm not taking this position here, guys. I'm just marking it up for you guys. But this is a V1 variation. If it was a CV, it'd be a lot better, but it's just a V1 variation right there. Again, I'm not taking it because I already know what happens when I don't follow my rules. This is what happened to me last week. I pretty much revenge traded my way into a second loss. This will probably play through, but again, I'm not going to take it because my rules are if I have one loss for the day, I'm done for the day. So I'm going to take this week as a break-even week. Sucks, but it is what it is. Got to take the break-even week and then continue on with the trading month. But this month's been pretty good so far. Last month was really good. We made some pretty good profit. This week, so last week was great for NFP. Made a lot of profit there. This week was obviously break-even. Is more on the neutral side. It started off strong and then it got kind of edgy as we got closer and closer to the to Friday. But it looks like the V1 variation is still running, if not already hit full TP. Let's see. Still running. Yeah, Drew said the pivots are funneling in. Not exactly the best conditions there for the trend. So again, this is another reason why I don't trade sideways market, right? I mean, you can make profits in a sideways market, but you guys can see right here that it just brings a lot of uncertainty to your analysis because there's no direction of like where price is going. Yeah, Brian over here closed out of his position early because it started looking a little scary. Yeah, there's just no movement here. So that's why for me personally, I prefer to just not trade during these sideways markets because it's just a lot of manipulation happening here. Looks like it's about to hit. Yeah, so it just hit right there, guys. If you guys took the V1 variation of the full TP, looks like Nick caught it. Nick caught it and Oscar caught it right there. So great work, guys, on catching that. But yeah, like I was saying, this could have went either way, right? This could have either spiked up or it could have spiked down. But I don't like trading in a sideways market like this because you really don't have control. Like in a situation like this, you don't really have control. If you guys want to move on with a 15-15 per like for every trade, you can do that as well if you like. Um, or yeah, so Vince over here caught up for ATR, which is 2020. So I'm gonna try to move as far away from a negative risk reward as possible. I'm gonna try to stay as close to a 1-to-1. So I think for the most part, for most of my trades, I'm gonna keep it at a 15-15 for the most part. Um, or even a 20-20. You know, I might try to keep it as close to the ATR as possible. The negative risk reward is fine, but you know, when you do have a loss, it does set you back a little bit. Like I'm glad for this week we were able to have a 1-to-1 basically all week. So all I took were the levels entries, so I came out at break even. In other situations, you know, if I would have taken more losses than wins, I would have been a negative for the week. But since we were lined up, I mean, it kind of worked out perfect for us. There is a triple confluence over here that you guys just referred to. Again, I don't like the entries here because of the sideways market. So, I mean, for me personally, I would just sit out of the market. But if you guys want to keep taking entries, feel free. The triple confluence already hit. Looks like if you guys got in too late, I mean, it literally tapped TP and then it went back up. And Nick over here actually got in early from the divergence. Nice. Yeah, solid work so far, guys. Um, Other than that, I don't really see much else right here right now. Again, price is just going sideways, so it's not really. So you guys can see here, it's still within the consolidation range. Still going back and forth between this area. Let's see, Nick said 722 was the candle he entered on the close of. Yeah, so Nick entered over here off the V1 and he just held on to it. That's like one way to do it too. So the way that Nick held on to it was he basically just entered a position and then he held on to it to push down to where the momentum came in. So we caught it for about like 20 points or so. Um, Ideally, that's how you can do it. Like if you want to get in early, like what Nick's doing, if you just want to follow the trend or follow the momentum, you can do that. Like for example, over here, the trend was bullish. The crossover happened right here on market open. And you could have basically held on to the entry. And I guess this is something we can look into as well. Basically hold on to it until the momentum comes because the momentum is typically going to happen, right? Might not happen right away, but eventually it'll happen. Like for example, over here, this crossed over and the momentum came up right there for like 18 points. If you can if you can like withstand the movement and draw down. Yeah, exactly. Brian's divergence with pending momentum is definitely something to be tested with the trend. Yeah, I agree. If you have a trending movement, and you see the divergence, you can basically enter it and wait. I mean, it might even work better on the higher time frames, like something like it doesn't happen as often on the higher time frames. The lower time frames they move a little quicker. So you could actually, I mean, technically you could do it over here on the higher time frames too. This was during Asia session though. So I crossed up right here, could have taken a buy right there, and then held on to it's only 6 points though, it's like nothing. So you'd have to look at like when the market's actually moving. So I mean, it does work though. So for example, right here, this was yesterday morning. The trend was bearish. The divergence crossed over right here. It's basically just like a buy and hold type strategy. You hold on to it, wait for the momentum to come up, which it came up right there, and then you pull out of it. Still pretty good. That's a 72-point win. Right there, it held on to that position for like 15 minutes or so. Same with this right here. 13-point win. Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, I'm like, okay, this actually, you guys might be onto something here. Again, right here, another one, pre-market. This opened up. Takes some drawdown there for about 50 points, pushes up, you exit at 42. So it kind of just depends on the, and sometimes it wouldn't work. Like right here, it never came back. I think the 1 minute would probably be ideal to apply it on. So you have some sort of parameter to follow. But all right, so price is coming back down right here, guys. There's not really too much else to look at. Price is coming down, but it's still within the range. So again, right here, it's still within this sideways move right here. Yeah, so Nick said, Brian said, have a weekend, y'all. Don't trade if you ain't got it. Yeah, definitely, Brian. Yeah, definitely. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. So see you back here then. So Brian's done trading for the week, as you guys know. Like Brian said, if you don't have to trade, don't, because it's just not necessary. I mean, price is still going back and forth between this area, so there's nothing for us to take here. Oh, nice. All right, Brian, have a safe flight back. I know it's crazy. Brian's been in Vietnam for like the past month, I think. So he's in Vietnam. He's been trading with us here, doing well. I'm pretty sure he has like decent internet out there. He's kind of just traveling and trading, so solid. Let's see. So Nick said, I'm basically using the code of the indicators to my advantage with the knowledge of the fact that the momentum indicator requires divergence. To switch then comes up. When that happens, you can almost guarantee there's going to be volatility that'll get you to the signal. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Nick. So, the funny thing is that you kind of like your thought process with the divergence, that's what put together the momentum signal. So it's that crossover plus there's like other crossovers that kind of have to align. So that was my whole thought process when I created the momentum indicator. That's why you can see that, because typically that's usually what happens. Yeah, exactly. So Nick looked back at the old lives and he saw there's it uses that, and then there's also a lot of different other parameters, but that's like the main thing to like kind of look for. So like when I was putting together the yeah, no, so Nick saw my lives back when I was creating the indicators. So back when I was creating them, I was looking for those for like basically a hint of momentum, and then there'd have to be a confirmation for the close, right? So you have the cross of that, and then you have a confirmation of close as well. And that's kind of what came about of it. Yeah, Nick said he watched like two weeks of straight live streams back then to see how I came up with it. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's solid, because that's how you understand like how it basically these indicators that I use here, guys, these are all from my thought process. I created these just to make my thought process quicker and easier. So I don't have to actually look at the candles and then look for the crossing to happen and then look for the switch up for me to identify momentum. I just created the indicators to show me that, okay, that's going to happen. But there's stuff here that happens before it actually happens. So like now it should start to make a lot of sense with you guys. Like for example, over here, we have a V1 variation. That's like one criteria. It's a reversal pattern. Then you can see the divergence that happens right here. That's the second criteria. Then you got price crossing below the pivots. That's another criteria. And then you get an opposite momentum right there. And then price comes down. So Yeah, you're catching on, Nick, which is good. These indicators are not necessarily meant for you to rely on 100%. These indicators are meant to just train your eyes to see what I see. Because I can see all this stuff without the indicators. It's just it takes more time and more work for me to actually identify everything. But now that I have the indicators here to identify, okay, what to focus on, like you guys can see here, it's pretty obvious what to focus on, right? Focus on the high lows, focus on the trend, focus on the divergence, focus on the momentum. You can focus on those 4 or 5 things. You can kind of see where price is going. You have an idea that, okay, price is going to likely push in this direction, or price is going to push in this direction, or etc. Oscar said catching all these bounces within range for 10 points, a little risky, but as long as it respects the range, it'll keep hitting. So one thing that I've started to notice from the levels entry, guys, is that if it doesn't hit on the first or second candle, I think it's best to just cancel it. That's kind of what and I'm going to put that in the notes over here as well. So does not fill by second candle, cancel order. And then this just goes hand in hand with the sideways market, right? You guys can see how the market is going sideways right here. If the market doesn't typically fill on the second candle, then it's probably going to go sideways. You're going to get consolidation. Because if you look at any of the other entries here that we've actually won, so let's see. So the ones here that we've won, you guys can see that they typically hit on the first candle, right? So price will come down, it fills, goes straight to TP, fills, goes straight to TP, fills, goes straight to TP. Whenever you kind of wait for it, or if it doesn't fill in the second candle, it typically will end up going sideways, which is what you don't want. But again, going back to the charts here, guys, still nothing going on here. You guys can see the sideways movement. Again, another fake out down below here. And it just continues to go on this sideways move. So let's see. All right, so price is breaking below the levels here again with the sell signal. Like Nick said, this could be a possible triple confluence off of this level right here. I'm not taking any entries here, but if you guys want to take it, I'll be following it for you guys. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. 7:40 right now almost. So we got about 20 minutes till 8, but I'm not really expecting much to happen. If this continues to go sideways right here, I might just wrap it up early today because I don't want you guys to be caught in any of these traps. Because again, right there, no entry for a triple confluence and no entry for a levels right here either. I mean, there wouldn't be a levels, but I was looking to test that levels theory, whether, it fills right away. I'm like really curious now to see that because that might be the thing that might be like the last piece to the strategy that we kind of need, because if that's the case, then that kind of goes hand in hand with the sideways movement, right? I'm gonna have to go back and test that from like the other levels entries that came up. Yeah, if anybody else wants to go back and test that criteria, I think that might be like the last touch that we really need for the levels. Because the main problem with the levels is just getting caught in the consolidation. If you can catch the levels when the market's volatile, it's perfectly fine. But if you're catching it when the market's consolidating, then typically you either get stuck in the position or it ends up going sideways for a bit before it does. So again, right here, there's another opportunity for the levels criteria. I'm just going to look at it. I'm not going to take it. I just want to see if that criteria is legitimate or not. because right here, price is consolidating. So obviously in this situation, I wouldn't have taken the levels entry if it was to come up. Like say, for example, this one here didn't come up, right? I still wouldn't take this one here because price is going sideways, but I just want to test that theory to see, okay, if that's the case, if it fails on the first touch, does it actually hit? Or is that just fluff that we kind of thought of that isn't really going to help us during a sideways market? Because realistically, in a sideways market, I would just avoid it altogether. So I'm not in this position right here, guys. I just wanted to see if this here worked. And I'm just going to follow it through. So price might be pushing down to the next level of liquidity right here. It still hasn't hit that lower level. See, this is why I was inclined to take the sell earlier. So we got caught in the fake out earlier with the levels entry. I was hoping that price was going to push down to the next level of liquidity, which it did. So let's see. So at this point, it would have been filled. I'm not in the position, guys, just a reminder, not in this position, just testing out this theory. And it looks like it's probably not going to work. Not for a sideways market. You should still avoid all entries during a sideways market. All levels entries, at least. If you're taking a CV or a V1 entry, that's fine. There's a V1 entry that came up right here. And that would have hit full TP. So I think during a sideways market, just stick to CVs and V1 variations and high-level momentum scalps. That's all you guys should stick to. A lot of these directional strategies, they're just not going to work. So another fake out happened right here below the level. I already circled it as well. So you guys can see the fake outs are happening both ends. Okay, so that theory it doesn't trump the sideways market. So even if we have a sideways market here and price is breaking levels, just don't take it, right? That's the point where you should just skip it. But I think the criteria is still good, even though during a moving market. But that criteria isn't going to overcome the sideways move here. So again, guys, when the market's moving sideways like this between levels, or not levels, but just structure in general, stick to the sideways strategy. So stick to the V1 variations, CV entries, and high-level momentum scalps because they're still hitting. So for example, let me take the levels off now. I mean, levels are kind of pointless right now because we're not taking any levels entries. But you guys can see here that there's V1 entries that are coming up. So for example, there's a V1 variation that happened right here. And this was a full TP. And you can probably do this for 15-15 as well, guys. I think 15-15 is a good sweet spot right now with the type of market conditions we currently have. Again, right here, there was another V1 variation that happened right here, double body rejection. And again, you do the same thing, 15-15. And I think that's it for right now. I don't really see too much. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. There's just nothing for us to take here right now. I already took my loss for the day, so unfortunately, I'm pretty much wrapped up. Looking at my profits, I'm pretty much at break even for this week. Not the best week. I was hoping this week would be better. It played out nicely in the first couple of days, and then we ended up having two basically horrible days for today and yesterday because the market started going sideways. And that's just kind of how the market is, right? Market's not always going to be super directional. It's not always going to be super smooth. Right now, you can see price is still stuck within this range between these 2 price points. And I'm hoping next week will be a lot more directional. Let's check the news calendar to see if there's any news for next week. I think there is. So next week, we have high impact news at pre-market on Monday. That's about it. We have retail sales on Tuesday, pre-market news. Some mid-level news. We have the Fed speaking. I think next week might be Fed week. Yeah, we have all of the Fed speaking next week. Jobless claims on the 20th. Building permits. And then we have S&P PMI on Friday. So we don't have a crazy amount of news, and we have news like almost every day, but nothing too crazy. So no PPI, no CPI, no NFP. I think next week will be a pretty normal week for the most part. But it looks like it is Fed week. We have all the Fed speaking on Tuesday. And that's about it. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. As you guys can see over here from what I marked up earlier, the market is still going sideways right here between the 400 mark and 450 mark. Unfortunately, the trade that I took today was down here. I got caught in a fake out just like I did yesterday. Same fake out. I should have been more. No, I mean, there's nothing. I think this was a fair loss. So looking at this right here, we took that loss right there. But the thing is, there was liquidity sitting down below. So there's liquidity at 306. Let me just mark it up real quick. So there's liquidity that was sitting right here, right? I was expecting this to fill. So let me go over here real quick. I'll just replay that entry that we took earlier this morning, or not this morning, but just a little while ago. So the thing with this here is I think I should have probably closed out or canceled the position because you guys heard me. I was watching the position. I said after this candle here, if it closed, if it doesn't touch or fill, I'm going to cancel the order. I ended up holding on to it for another candle and then ended up reversing on it, right? But when I saw the entry right here, it was still a fair entry because we could have identified this for price to fill it and then push down to this level right here, which would have been liquidity. So you just got to eat the loss sometimes and learn from it. For me, I should have learned from that mistake on Thursday when we got caught in the fake out. But the fake outs don't always happen, right? Fake outs aren't always going to happen. So like, for example, over here, this could be a fake out or this could actually be the breakthrough and continue climbing up. Two scenarios here. One scenario is price fakes out and then it pulls back into the range. Or scenario number two, where price breaks above and continues climbing. So yeah, CJ said it was a fair loss. You didn't FOMO on this one. So it's cool. It's a new strat. We learned something so we still won in the end. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Nick said that's the glory of a one-to-one strat. Just can't be scared of the entry when it comes. Yeah, and that's what I like about these one-to-ones. I mean, initially the strategies were always one-to-one. The reason why we went into negative risk reward is because of the scalps, right? The scalps that kind of required that we'd have to get in and out very quickly. This type of market here, I think we found a pretty decent sweet spot between the 15-15. So the one-to-ones are going to be here to stay for a bit. Hopefully long term. If anything, I'll probably just convert all of the regular strategies like MPS and all that stuff to one-to-one as well. Because you guys can see over here that these V1 variations, I mean, they still work with the one-to-one. You can do a 15-15 for these V1 variations. They still work the same. So yeah, I think maybe moving forward, we might just stick to these one-to-ones. But again, it's just gonna be a matter of time. A lot of testing, a lot of reinforcing our knowledge with like how these markets move and adapting with what the market conditions are giving us. So what I hope for is we don't stay in this consolidation, right? I'm hoping the market continues to move directional because this type of market, like look how price is moving right here. This isn't worth trading in because you can get caught in the fake outs in either direction, whether it be up or whether it be down. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to put the results together for this week. Unfortunately, a break-even week for us. I was hoping for a better week, but I mean, it is what it is. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you guys back here on Monday.